because we have a room full of people that we need to
Yeah,
formalize this.
not let them down.
Okay, we're gonna call this to order. I'm hoping APTV is ready to roll. Okay, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. This meeting is being held in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the Coaster Asbury Park Press by publication of the annual meeting notice and posted on the Municipal Bulletin Board and municipal website. All notices are on file with the board secretary. Official action can be taken in the following manners before this board. Fire exits are located on east and west sides of council chambers, as well as the back of the building. I will ask everyone with a cell phone or other device to kindly silence your device during the duration of this meeting. And it is being recorded by APTV. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask our attorney to please do roll call.
Okay.
Hey, I sent that email.
Yes, you did. Mayor John Moore. Here. Jim Henry. Here. Councilwoman Von Clayton.
Here.
Ms. Souter.
Here.
Ms. Taylor.
Here.
Mr. Shanna Mayo.
Here.
And Mr. Gallipo.
Yeah.
And Chair Kurzak.
Here,
I'm missing one person. Who am I missing?
Rick.
Rick Lambert.
Rick Lambert. Absent.
Okay. All right, the first item up on the agenda is a resolution for the appointment of the planning board secretary. Can I get a motion for the approval of our planning board secretary?
So moved. Second.
It was moved by Mr. Shanna Mayo, seconded by Mr. Henry. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you.
Welcome, Maria.
Yay.
Yay. Now you can do all the roll calls.
Yeah.
Yay.
Resolutions.
Yes, the resolution. We have the resolution, we need all the signatures, and we'll take care of that. Okay, we have our first resolution for approval for Isabella in Charge, Inc., the Asbury Ale House. Anyone have anything we'd like to bring up with that? I know that I am not able to vote on this.
Nor am I.
Nor am I. Nor am I. Uh-oh.
So Jack?
We don't
Yeah, I
have a
can tell
quorum.
you,
Jack can tell us.
the eligible members are Mr. Sean Mayo. Mr. Manzello is no longer here, Mayor Moore, Eric, Jennifer, and Rick, so I'll call the roll. Mayor?
Yes.
Mr. Sean Mayo?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, done, we've made it. Okay, our next resolution is for the approval of 649 Mattison. This is also one of Jack's.
Yeah, you'll notice there's some red and blue on that, because I wasn't sure of some of the things that are in there, and you can always change them to black ink. Are there any questions? There was one specific matter on page 2, number 4 at the top, that the board does not make any finding or determination. Historical guidelines did not apply to the application. That was rather weird.
That's correct.
Rest of the conditions on page 3, you'll see 7, 8, and had to add some to that. And the storefront windows and ground floor, were they to be installed before CO was to be issued, or is that going to be, that's just
Okay.
something for discussion?
All right, this is one thing that I'd like to bring up here, and I'm going to look to our legal counsel to tell us what path to take here. What we, as a board, determined was that the windows were taken out prematurely, they were historical. They were taken out prematurely. We came up with we had a discussion as to what the windows and doors should look like going forward. And as part of the approval process of this application, we had those windows and doors as well as what was going to happen on the second floor. One thing that this board neglected to do was, and we need to do going forward, is that we did not specify a sequence of events that needed to happen. So that we did not specify that you must make the modifications to the windows and doors immediately and then have at it on the second floor. We never provided the statement that said, you must do one and then the other. Going forward, we need to do that. We need to be very conscious on future applications that if there's a sequence of events that we want people to follow, it was a very unusual application, let's just say that. It was an unusual application to an existing structure that we wanted to add another structure to it, and we needed to make changes to the existing structure also. So I'm going to be looking for our counsel to tell us what recourse do we have here?
It's not in the record, it's not a fact finding by the board, it's not a condition of approval, so it doesn't exist, we can't create it at this stage.
Okay, so what we can do is mention it to our board to keep that in mind, as well as our attorneys and anyone that's in this room, that going forward, we need to keep that in mind. And it was a miss, and it is what it is.
So it's too late to revise the resolution.
I'm gonna strike it. You can sign it with it stricken, and then I can clean it up in the morning and send a clean copy.
The issue is that we can't insert it at this point. We didn't say it.
Wouldn't be supported by
Even
the
though,
record.
right, even though that was the intent,
Intent.
once again, it's the intent. We didn't say it as that, so we can't hold our applicant to that, but we are wiser for the future.
But isn't the entire application contingent upon making those improvements?
Yes,
They're gonna be made. It's
They're
just a
going to be made.
sequence of when they're gonna be made. You didn't specify it as a matter of finding.
well, what we're talking about, Daniel, is that people have been asking, I'm sure many of us, when are the windows going to come back? And they will come back once all the development is done, they have to be back. There's no question that they're coming back. The issue that we're bringing up is saying, we never said, put it in now, as opposed to waiting until everything is done and then put them in. You know what I mean?
Unless, of course- Yeah, right, unless, of course, they abandon putting the second floor on, then they don't have to put the windows and doors in.
Then they have to come back here.
If they abandon, they have to come
their
back.
approvals, and they don't put the second floor on, you approve the whole project, not a piecemeal project. So they don't have site plan approval to abandon the second floor.
Ah, I see, okay. So they've already changed the property. Maybe they just couldn't leave the property as the way it is now?
No. They can abandon their approvals, but they have to come back, because site plan was required to do the work on that building. Obviously, if they're gonna abandon their approvals, we go through zoning code to see if they're just doing what's called repairs. If they just are gonna make repairs on the existing building, that's a different story, they don't have to go to the board for repairs.
But if they choose not to move forward and do nothing, do we have any, they don't have to come back here, right?
No, but if they, to Dan's point, if they start altering the building, facade and everything else, and then they don't build the second floor, they stepped over the line there. If they abandon their approvals to put the second floor, and they just go in and get permits to make repairs to the building, then they can afford coming back.
But what they've done already about changing the windows, has that started the ball in anything, or is that repairs?
I'm sure if they go in to get permits, if they were to abandon it, Michelle would send them back to the board because of the whole window issue. But we might go right back to square one and be in the same boat we were in the first time.
Right, we're very sensitive, that the city and the board is very sensitive to this issue. So anything that happens with this application is being monitored closely.
Has to.
Yes. So unfortunately, we're in this situation. But does anybody have any questions about this application before we go for a motion? All right, I'm going to go for a motion for approval regretfully.
Okay, the eligible members are Mayor Moore, Yvonne, Eric, Jennifer, and Barbara.
I'll second.
I'll do the motion regretfully, but that doesn't really matter.
So you got a.
I got a first.
Motion and a second.
I got a
by
second.
Mr.
Second.
Bowe. Mayor Moore,
Yes.
Councilman McLean,
Yes.
Mr. Galito. Eric, I need your vote.
Yes, yes.
Oh, thank you. Jennifer South,
Yes.
Barbara Christie.
Yes. Okay. All right, our next resolution is for approval is Memorial Ave Holdings. That's Mr. Beekman.
Yes, I sent over some minor revisions earlier this afternoon. Just make sure I got the right one here. It was 107 parking spaces. The rear yard setback was 18.4 feet, and if you remember, that rear yard setback was to the property line that's within Neptune Township. That's the rear line, as well as the New Jersey Transit line. We removed a section in number 9, actually, that was my mistake, it was a carryover from another resolution regarding trash, but the short of it is trash removal is going to be from in the interior. And those were really the only changes that I've made. Did anyone have any other questions to the
Yeah, I
draft?
do, Jeff. In item number 15, you struck out the RIS standard.
You're looking at the other one.
15, this is the
This is
memorial,
This is Memorial. This is Springwood.
Springwood.
right? Because this one has 15, this one does have RSIS.
Yes,
Are you okay?
well,
For memorial. This is not memorial. This one's memorial, yes.
yes, okay. I thought you struck that.
So the waterfront development area is a little different than Springwood and where this property is. So that's why it was struck, but we'll talk about that when we do that resolution. On this one, it's, there's still reference to the RSIS.
Okay, I thought,
Standards.
for some reason, I thought you struck it.
It might have been from the other one.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely in the K Hovnanian one,
Okay.
and I'll explain that.
All right, one thing that I would like to mention, and this is for our going forward also, I happen to really like number 15, because we get this confusion of dens, bedroom versus bedrooms. I'd like to make sure that going forward, that we consider putting this in any resolution that has a den.
Thank the mayor for this one.
Thank
Because
you, Mayor.
the mayor's the one that brought this up.
That's what we need. We need to make sure that this gets put in.
That's different, but is in this one too.
You know, there's, you have to remember, there's also a distinction. Sometimes you call a den and it's not a full solid wall, and it does make a difference. In these, they were proposing actually an enclosed area,
Yeah.
more
But
like
go-
an office that you can close off.
This is another one of those teachable moments that we need to remember that we have to add this to all of our resolutions that have dens. Where this obviously fits in the cognizant of this. Okay,
I have a question.
go ahead.
I didn't read it because I can't vote on it. So I'm looking at it quick now. Does it have to, is it in there they have to pay the 2.5% to affordable?
That's number 21.
They're providing affordable in this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I have?
Yeah, it has number 21,
I
it
think it does have a
says
contribution provision.
2.5, but there are affordable on this, right?
So they still have
Yes.
to pay it.
Yeah, so they would have to contribute if it's applicable. I'll be honest, I'm not sure exactly if your ordinance requires it when
Okay,
they're
as long
providing
as
before.
it's in there, we can figure it out.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Oh, am I
That's
doing
you.
this? All in favor?
Okay, so who's
I'm not.
Okay, so available is Councilwoman Von Clayton, James Bonanno, who is absent. That's who I missed. Mr. Bonanno is absent as well. Jim Henry, Eric Gallipo, Daniel Shanamayo, and Chairwoman Kurzak.
No, I'm not on that one.
No, I don't think you were present. You weren't present for the last meeting on this one.
No, this is the one that's on Memorial and Springwood.
Oh, yeah,
One in the
no.
blue building,
Memorial?
not the firehouse. the
You
other.
weren't present for the K Hovnanian vote either, right? It was the same night, July 11th.
I was not there July 11th.
Yeah, I don't think you were there.
Well, according to this resolution, you weren't.
Yes, no,
I was not there July.
and I looked to see if on Asbury
I was
TV
not
it was there.
Okay,
I know.
Okay.
It's confusing.
So we have Councilwoman Von Clayton,
Yes.
Jim Henry,
Yes.
Eric Gallipo,
Yes.
Daniel Shanamayo,
Yes.
Chairwoman Kurzak.
yes.
Okay.
All right, resolution of denial for JLD Investments. Anybody have anything here that they would like to bring up?
Yes. Excuse me. The indication here is, the application is for the demolition of the existing Holy Spirit Church. Actually, that was not part of the application. It was just for the subdivision. The effect of the subdivision would be the church could be demolished. But we never discussed that issue of demolition.
Well, demolition was brought up because you can't have a subdivision without demolition. You have to take down the improvements that are over the existing properties as a
Okay.
condition of subdivision.
Answer my question. Thank you.
Okay.
Am I eligible to vote on this?
You are not.
No, we have
You were not
Mayor
here.
'Cause I
Moore,
wasn't here for
You were
it.
not here.
Daniel Shanamayo, Jennifer Souter, and Jim Henry is available, is
Which-
eligible.
So which address
Move
is
to
this?
approve.
701?
This is 701, 705.
Move to approve.
Second.
That's Mr. Henry, Mr. Shanamayo. Mayor Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Shanamayo,
Yes.
Ms. Souter,
Yes.
and Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we have our last resolution is a resolution for approval for the K Hovnanian, second, third, and Bergh. Anybody want to bring up anything here?
Yes, again, in your first draft, or one of your earlier drafts, on the first page, you spelled out the mix of bedrooms. And in
Yes.
your final draft, you removed that. Any reason
So
why you shouldn't keep it in?
when I was drafting these, I was drafting Springwood and this one at the same time. And I didn't realize until after I did the draft, this is not a affordable housing program. So the mix of bedrooms that are laid out in 900 to 904 also dictate the affordable housing. This is not affordable housing, so it's not applicable to it. So I simplified it because that is the mix of what it is. And generally, the affordable housing is based upon the bedroom counts.
Okay.
But as you notice, what I indicated is the units are as reflected in the architecture plans referenced here and the testimony provided. So the
Okay.
plans are what was approved.
Okay, that's fine. And there was a typo on page 5, item 20. The layout should be conformed to,
Yep.
and on item 12, you deleted that both developments will not be constructed at the same time. I thought that was the testimony. They were going to do one, get it done, and move on to the second one without, because there was the issue of parking.
Yeah, actually, it was not the testimony, and it was, the testimony specifically was they're gonna start the one, they're gonna stage it, get to a point where then they can start the other. Because if they don't do them together, it's gonna be a much longer project. It'll mean
Okay.
more street closures and everything. So the testimony was pretty clear that that was not the case. So that's why I was struck.
Okay.
No
Okay.
no other questions?
All right, there was an item that I had requested to be modified on number 9 regarding parking. On here, it stated that there would be a net gain of 5 parking spaces, which is
Not true.
not true.
Not accurate.
It's not accurate. Is there a gain of 5 parking spaces? Yes, internally. There is a gain of 5 parking spaces internally. That does not help the street parking and the city. So we are still reduced by 4 parking spaces externally, and there is no gain for the city or for the residents.
Correct. So we struck that whole, based on our conversation, Barbara,
Yes.
we struck that whole sentence out.
Okay, all right,
In the
so
latest draft.
while they are providing more parking spaces than they have to provide, they are not providing any more for the city.
They're not providing any public
Any
spaces.
public spaces that are usable by the public.
Correct.
So I asked for that to be removed. Okay, anything else by anyone else?
Is there language in there, because I know we talk about their staging,
Yes.
if they're gonna use city spots?
They have to get approval through the city for doing anything that they're dealing with, road closures and traffic.
Thank you.
Yes, that's all I know.
And they also had very specific language in here to help protect the homeowner, having to do with the surveys that they had to do and make sure that there was no impact before or after the construction to make sure that that home is well protected. Okay, anything else for anyone? All right, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And that was moved by Mr. Henry, seconded by Councilwoman Clayton. Eligible to vote is Mayor John Moore,
Yes?
Councilwoman Clayton,
Yes.
Jim Henry,
Yes?
Eric Gallipo,
Yes.
Chair Kurzak.
Yes. Daniel was also eligible.
Oh, yes, and Daniel Shanamayo. Why do I not?
On the back. It says he is.
Yeah, why don't I have him as voting for it? I have to correct
Is
that.
that
I have to
on
add him.
page
That vote was
10.
also July 11th.
No, on page 10 I have it, but as far as the votes on page 9,
Okay,
I don't have Mr. Shanamayo.
but I believe he was here. Right,
Yes, I
Daniel?
will.
Was that
Yeah, you're
He
right.
was. Yep,
also July 11th?
this was July 11th.
Right.
Yeah, I have him on the last page, but I don't have him on the ninth page, page 9.
All right, so we're good to go there?
Yep.
Okay, so Maria, now you see what the roll call has to be after every resolution. Going forward, that's you.
Okay.
And keeping track of how we voted it's all about you.
Okay,
Okay?
got it.
All right, so we're done there. All the resolutions are done. We have an application
vote on
that,
Wait, did we do
We
649
didn't vote.
Yes.
Mattison?
Did we just vote on it?
Oh, didn't you say yes?
We did, okay.
Oh,
I
you know what?
Yes, I was here.
You know, you might have said yes. Mr. Shanamayo.
Yes.
There you go. Everyone else voted.
okay. All right, our application that was to be heard today was the Monroe Avenue Realty LLC. We had to move that to another date. What's the date that we have?
October 17th.
October 17th? Okay, we will be moving this application to October 17th. Can I get a motion to move to October 17th with no further notice?
So moved.
Before we have a vote on this one, I just wanted to explain something to the board on this application. So this matter was heard in the end of July. I don't remember the exact date specifically, but the board received, or the board secretary received a letter indicating that one of the homeowners within 200 feet didn't get a proper notice. Come to find out, the date of the 200-foot list that the applicant received from the town was dated January, I believe. And in the interim from then to the time that the notice was sent out, this individual, this company actually changed addresses. So I discussed this with Mr. Karras, and he actually re-noticed for the meeting tonight. So all of the notices are now accurate according to a more updated list for the meeting tonight. So the board would have had jurisdiction this evening to continue the matter because that notice was corrected for the one individual.
Do we know why we're carrying this? Do we know?
They haven't submitted their revised plans.
The revised plans? Okay.
Would the fact that the notice went out, are we still within that 45-day period?
Thank you for reminding me. We also received a letter that was sent to the board secretary indicating that they agreed to a waiver of the automatic timeframe.
All right. So let's do this again. Can I get a motion to carry this application to October 17th with no further notice?
So moved.
Second.
So it's moved by
Daniel-
Mr. Shannon Mayo and seconded by Mr. Henry. All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
And that will be October 17th, 7 PM, no notice.
No notice at a normal meeting.
Right.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Before we do that,
Okay.
let me ask a question. I wrote down, I guess it's Kingsley, not too long ago, and I saw a sign in front of the entrance to the parking garage, and it said, parking all day, $50 or something like that. And I almost choked. I thought that when we approved the parking there, that we had an additional, 50-some parking spaces for the use of the public. Am I mistaken? Should that fee, is that proper?
Yeah,
It can be,
Okay,
yeah, I would guess that it could be whatever.
they want.
I don't think that we had a limit on that. The only limitation that I'm aware of, at the risk of testifying, is that any parking lot cannot undercut the price that the city is charging. So no parking lot can charge less than a full day's worth of parking is on a meter.
And that they have to have those public spots available.
And they have
for
to
the
have those 50 public spots available
For the public.
for the public to use. I don't believe that there is any restriction
Okay.
on dollar amount, except for what I just
I'm
mentioned.
just asking a question, and
Yeah.
I was,
You so bad that sometimes it's 100.
Yep. All right, anything before we adjourn? Nothing? Okay, gotta get a motion to adjourn.
so
All right, all right. Here we go.
All in favor?
All in favor, aye.